Hey y'all, I got the news this morning that we lost Sean Connery. It's another great person that 2020 has taken. This year sucks, but we are gonna get through it. But in honor of the legendary Sean Connery, I want to talk today about the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. How it's a good movie, how it should be remade, and how it could reignite Universal's dark universe that they've been attempting to get off the ground for what, like 10 years now or something like that. But they could do a League remake, okay? Possibly even use some of the old actors from the original movie and use that as a jumping off point to start a franchise, actually, a bunch of franchises like the Avengers. Now, they could, you know, just like the Avengers, how they had their big moments of coming together and they all have their solo films, they could definitely do that. Tom Sawyer, outside of his solo, outside of the main movie, their Avengers style movie, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, could have his Western and American tales, and then Mina Harker, she ties in with Dracula and that side of the dark universe that they're starting. Frankenstein's monster could come in at some point. Alan Quartermain, I want him. I would love to have him back, the character itself, but it would have to be somebody that could play the character as well as, if not better than Sean Connery, because there's going to be an instant comparison as soon as anyone is announced with that role. What else? Yeah, they could have they get the Wolfman in there. Like it's the perfect. It'd be the perfect starting point and sync point for the Dark Universe and all of their movies to come together. They've been trying this forever. Me, Dracula Untold, I like that movie. That I felt was the perfect start for the Dark Universe, especially with the way the ending was set up. Like that was the perfect start. The Mummy movie with Tom Cruise, it sucked. Plain and simple. It was garbage. Like they let Tom Cruise ruin that movie and they made it all about him. They messed it up. They really did. Like there's really nothing to say about that. Like I wanted it to be great because the Mummy series with the Brendan Fraser. I love those movies. They're awesome. But the one with Tom Cruise, just trash. Just absolute garbage. Pure basura. Just nothing. Like I have no good words for that movie whatsoever. But yeah, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it's not bad for what it was when it came out. Okay, and if you watch that movie now, you'll see the movie's not bad. Like the movie's pretty good. Yeah, some of the effects don't didn't age well and weren't the best for the time when it did come out, but it's not a bad movie. Like, let's be for real. That Nemo's car and everything about the Nautilus was awesome and amazing. Like you can't say it wasn't. Two, yeah, they were definitely the Avengers before the Avengers. Like how weren't they? Three, that fight with was it Mr. Hyde and that guy that had like took all the serum or whatever that was all huge. You can't tell me that that was not the Hulk versus Abomination fight like 10 years earlier. Like they set the stage for so much stuff that was about to happen in cinema. Like so much stuff that happened in that movie happened again in so many movies later on. Like they as much you can say that movie was bad all you want to, but they set the bar. Like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen set the bar, and yeah, without it, I kind of feel like the MCU wouldn't exist if that movie didn't. Like, yeah, they were probably thinking about it for a while, but I kind of feel like if that movie never happened, the MCU as we know it might be completely different. Because yeah, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen definitely definitely did a lot beforehand. Now, a reboot of that movie, they could possibly do a modern day reboot of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, since um, I believe Alan Quartermain is immortal. Mina Harker, well, she's a vampire, and so she's gonna live forever as long as nobody kills her. If they decide to bring back Dorian Gray, as long as he hasn't looked at that painting, he's fine. Uh, Frankenstein's monster could possibly live forever as long as he keeps, replacing pieces of himself. Yeah, like there's a lot of people that could do if they decided to do a modern retelling, but hopefully they would stick with the Victorian era time period and use the original characters that they stuck with last time. Like I'd be fine with pretty much a shot for shot remake of that movie, just with better effects. But even if not, hey, just redo it, because the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. A lot of people do not know the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not just a movie; it was a comic book first, which is another reason why I compare it to the Avengers and the MCU. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen wasn't a movie first; it was a comic book first, and it was adapted. And a lot of people didn't like it because of that, because there was a lot of changes between the comic books and the movie. So a lot of people didn't like that, but a lot of people didn't even know that. They thought it was just a standalone movie by itself. Little fact for you that you might not know. Excuse me. Sip a little Sprite there. It's not dirty, not yet, but excuse me. But just the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I feel like it's a very underrated movie, and a movie that now, if people could look at it with fresh eyes, would realize they kind of put a harsh opinion on it unnecessarily and unfairly. But yeah, that's really all I got to say about that. I don't mean to ramble, but yeah, rest in peace, Sean Connery. We love you, man. You will always be a Highlander to us.